Let's get back to the clap and the love. Okay, let me put your hands together for the next comic coming up to the stage. Give me a round of love, please, for that more than introduction. Please, so keep it going for the greatest MC, Anthony! So hi everybody, my name is Socrates. I'm an American. Yeah, thanks, appreciate that. You guys watch the news? What do you have, rules? Rights? Passe. So yeah, I've been living here since about 2009, and told I have to address this right off the bat because people will wonder. I also have some experience with doctors. Didn't really want to. I was forced recently to learn a new Dutch word. Does anybody speak Dutch? No, me neither. It's a hard language, but they can teach you one word at a time. I was recently taught the word aangereden. And if you don't know what it means to be slammed into. And used in a sentence, ik ben aangereden door een scooterklootzak. Which unfortunately means I got slammed into by an asshole on a scooter. And I'll never forget that word. Yeah, there's another word called fietspad. I don't know if you've heard this one. It's basically it's not for your feet. You know, not these anyway. It's a bike path. You know. Again, I thought it was self-explanatory. So you can imagine my surprise when the car was driving on the bike path, and then there was a scooter also on the bike path. So he was also surprised by the car, but he was doing this, which is unfortunate for me because I was coming in the other direction, and I came around the blind corner, and I was going to say to the auto, you know, this is a bike path. You should not drive a car on a bike path, and the scooter as well. If you're going to drive a scooter, pay attention to where you're going. But what I said was, ah! And then there was a slamming moment. That was very exciting. Still cool though, still cool. Then I flew, and thinking back on it, I flew for a really long time. I know time is compressed, but still, there was a ways between, you know. And then there was a landing part, which is where it started to really, really suck. Because that was the crunchy old break the arm part. And yeah, I said calmly, ouch. Although I'm from New Jersey, so I said something like, fuck! You know, I tried not to, but I couldn't hold it back. And in fact, I'm recently learning another Dutch word, the word for frequently, which is V-A-A-K, or a fuck. You know, I say that frequently. But so the ambulance came, and a little tip, if you want an ambulance, tell them you're going to pass out. Because when I said I wasn't passing out, they said I should take a taxi. I disagreed. I thought, you know, so I said, hang on a second, I'm passing out. I said, no problem, I'll send an ambulance. So, ambulance gets there. He did not offer me paracetamol. He offered me fentanyl. Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm an American, and that's just sort of our thing. I actually said no to the fentanyl, because that's a short path to a heroin addiction. I don't know if you know that or not, but I'm not against the heroin addiction. Just planning it for another, you know, couple years from now. It's a later chapter, I hope. I'm only 56. It's like a 70s thing, I think. But then my arm was like, you know, you should take that fentanyl, and I agreed to it. Useless. Literally didn't help. One-star drug. Complete. I got to the hospital. They asked if I wanted morphine, which is an odd question to ask a person, especially if they got a broken bone, you know, because it's like, yes, I would like some morphine, please. Thank you. And then they later offered me more morphine, and I said yes again, because morphine, 5-star drug. They gave me OxyContin for a while. That was good. Everybody's warning me about the addiction, and I'm trying to explain that I just needed to sleep, you know. And so yeah, it's true. I started taking a lot of naps during the day. Get a pill for the nap, but nonetheless. So I talked to the doctor. You know, I asked him basically, what do you think my situation is? Because it's been a few months, and it should have been getting better, but it's I'm probably going to do an operation. So I do a lot of this sort of stretchy thing, and unfortunately, when you're in your house doing this, it looks like you're practicing to be a Nazi. People don't like Nazis, you know. But if you're practicing to be a Nazi, it's like you're incompetent as well, you know. So I do the Black Power thing instead. But so I asked the doctor, you know, what do you think's going on with this? And he said this is what they call a Helas Pindakaas situation. Which, if you don't know what it means, it doesn't help to know what it means. This is a Dutch saying they love. It means, oh well, peanut butter. See, it's not helpful if you know what it means, you know. And so I asked for another opinion because I didn't like that one, and I already paid my deductible. And so I had another doc, a little more positive. He said, it comes good. Yeah, if you've ever gone to a therapist or a doctor, at some point someone will tell you that when they have no other solution whatsoever, they'll say, it comes good. It's not even a good sentence, you know? The one time that's a valuable piece of feedback is when you're searching for a male prostitute. How's that work? It comes good. And the backside? Hey, last Pentecost. I don't like the second half either, but it kind of, squares a circle there. But, the most, so you have one married couple here, but you're not married. Anybody going out with a Dutch person? Anybody in a relationship just here? Bunch of masturbators? Yeah, my people. But which one of you's Dutch? You're the Dutch one, and where are you from? Ireland. Oh, okay. Well, you already got bothered at least once right up front. How long have you been dating now? 6 years. So you've probably heard this. The most confusing word in Dutch, especially for us Outlanders. Outlander is if you've never heard it the first time you hear it, you're like, what the hell just happened? What does that mean? How do you interpret it, I hear myself saying it when I wait for trains. I'm like, mainly because of this. But there's a worse time to hear it. I think the worst time to hear that is like after sex. How was that? Still better than hearing it before sex, is all I'm saying. Think about it, it's not. We'll go upstairs. But you're Irish again. I'm going to pick on you because I already know this. See, I'm an American, and as one of our words for our favorite little people are little sugar honey, sugar sweetie pies, sugar buns. Because if you love something, it should become fat, get a heart attack, and die. What do you call your favorite little honey bunny? Sugar pie. Take your time. No one's listening. No pressure. Honey, you know what the Dutch say, right? Schatje. Schatje. The horrible Dutch sound if there ever was one, you know what I mean? And they shrink it down to schat. Which again, I don't get that, I personally like the word oudje, which is a little onion. But oudje, it sounds nice. Does it my oudje? Will you be my oudje? Yeah, I like it as a sound. I think it's a better sound, But of course, like the best Dutch word, the word that encompasses the Netherlands in general, is of course the word gezellig. Which of course, if you don't know, it's the ultimate Dutch word, because it starts with a ch, ends with a ch. It's got that zel in the middle, And it's something we do as a group, you know what I mean? To make something gezellig is something we have to do as a group. Like hanging out in the park as a group, we make this whole thing gezellig together, Because normally it's cloudy and rainy, and that's the only way to survive here. So we have to have it as a group. It's like if your friend went out yesterday and said, what'd you do? I went on a boat with my friends. Well, that sounds gezellig, What'd you do? I stayed home and I masturbated. I'm not saying it's not fun, But it's not exactly gezellig, I mean, unless you do it in a big group, that could be gezellig, So life gives you changes. I'm trying to make through, dealing with my own personal issues at the moment. Like I said, life throws curveballs, and so I noticed that capitalism is a brutal sport, and so I'm trying to figure out ways around it. So maybe this can work for you guys as well. And so I figured out a loophole in capitalism. It's called stealing. Have you tried this? Have you heard this stuff? If you want something, you can just take it. But people guard things, so you got to work your way up, especially if you've got limitations. And so I'm trying to steal easy things, things I can get away with. Like I've been stealing that walking stick that the blind people use. Well, they never see it coming, And what are they going to do? He's not going to come running after me, Not without the stick. And even if they go to the police, what are they going to do? Without an eyewitness report? They got nothing. Of course, the downside is it's not easy to sell those things, because there's no one really looking for them. Yeah, I'm on Oxycontin. It's an excuse. I use it as many times as I can. But I noticed the world's collapsing. I don't know if you paid attention to that. You're at a comedy park, so. And, as a Greek, some of the things that people don't get, like politicians.